On today's video, I wanted to spend a couple of minutes reacting to the news this week about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and his mega deal. And it was a mega deal, all right, as the Toronto Blue Jays announced a 14-year, $500 million extension with their homegrown slugger. And it is a cherry on top for a front office that I think now deserves a lot of credit. They have brought in key contributors like Andres Gimenez and Jeff Hoffman, who have made big differences on the Toronto Blue Jays this season. And now the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension contains a very intriguing element that is getting a lot of eyeballs around the sport and may actually provide a model for other teams and players to follow in the years to come. What am I talking about, you may ask? Well, it was reported yesterday by The Athletic's Ken Rosenthal that this contract contains a $325 million signing bonus. It has two main benefits, according to the article, which I found very interesting and is worth a read. The first is it protects Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s money in case of a work stoppage. In other words, he'll still get paid even if the sport shuts down in about 19 months, which unfortunately it seems poised to do as the collective bargaining agreement expires at that time. And then the other benefit is that the signing bonuses, which again, as I mentioned, are $325 million, those are allocated, according to this contract, based on a player's state of residence, which for Guerrero Jr. is Florida. That's where he spends his time in the off season. It's where his family and where his daughter goes to school. Of course, Florida as a state doesn't have any state income tax, so he would be protected from the punishing taxes of Florida. So it's very interesting. Of course, it's $175 million remaining, which is going to be straight salary, and then the signing bonus of $325. So it averages out to $35 million per year on an average basis over the duration of the 14-year contract. And I think it's very interesting because obviously the general manager of the Blue Jays, Ross Atkins, deserves a lot of praise for taking advantage of this control window that the team had over Guerrero before he became a free agent and exposed himself to the rest of baseball in what would have been a bidding war for the four-time All-Star and the two-time Silver Slugger, and a player who, by the way, just hit 323 in the last full baseball season. So Jays fans are very excited. They feel that this is a player who wanted to play in Toronto the whole time, and that's what makes it all the more, all the more exciting, because we can go through chapter and verse of all the free agents who Toronto has either missed out on or has just neglected to bid on altogether. The list is too long, in fact. So to finally have a player say yes to their money has to make Jays fans and also the front office feel very good. And this team is definitely flexing its financial muscle. They've added a lot of contracts to the books this winter alone, and there's a lot of excitement for what a future Blue Jays core can be. Between Alejandro Kirk, who, let's face it, has been signed long-term, has been locked down, and Andres Gimenez, who the Blue Jays absorbed a lot of money, almost a little over $90 million remaining to Gimenez, the Blue Jays are now going to put on their books. And you have, of course, Vladimir Guerrero now, and there's a lot of talk among Blue Jay fans and in the fan base about who's next, who's going to be the next contract extension that they agree to. Maybe that is going to be Bo Bichette. One can only hope. He's getting off to a great start this year, so it would be an amazing addition for the team long term if he can be signed. And then there's also the question about guys currently on the roster. Is that going to be Dalton Varsho? I know there was a little bit of talk about that just before the team broke spring training camp and headed north, but of course they're going to continue to pursue those negotiations in the coming weeks and days going forward. But for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., this is an amazing deal. Obviously, $500 million total. The signing bonus is almost 60% of it. It's an incredible deal. It's a great deal for the Blue Jays, for their fans. Their fans have someone to look forward to now. That has to feel really good, knowing that somebody took your money, and also knowing now from the front office point of view that this is a team who you need to keep investing in. Again, this is, I think, the surest sign yet that this team will not be going into a rebuild. They may not perform well this year, although they are doing very well as it stands over the first 12 plus games of the season. But this is a team that ownership in the front office should continue to be investing in And a Guerrero deal tells you that it's not just going to be this year, it's going to be going forward, especially in those prime years, because Guerrero Jr., of course, is still only 26 years old at the time of this deal becoming official. So very exciting news for the Toronto Blue Jays. I wanted to mention that signing bonus detail because I thought that was very interesting. It became known when it became official yesterday as the team began a Game 3 in Boston. They'll be playing the fourth game of that series in Boston this afternoon, going for the sweep. And I think a lot of Jays fans are pinching themselves, not only knowing that they can sweep the Boston Red Sox this afternoon, but also that they have Vladimir Guerrero signed long-term. Spring training deadline is just a bunch of garbage. It's just a bunch of negotiating tactics on all ends here. Guerrero Jr. is a Blue Jay. Everyone's excited. The Blue Jays are in first place in the American League East. We'll be back with another video when the Blue Jays have some more positive news. And until we do, this has been another edition of American League East Recap.